Hey there, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Hey, listen, I wanted to show you these two books I got in here. I brought in here with me. I decided not to teach out of the book. Uh, there's reasons why. It's This is the first one of the first books I wrote on this subject. It's the Human Nature and Destiny of Man, and that's the first book. I haven't published it yet. I only have this is really only the transcript I need to send in and get published. And there's another book though that I am working on publishing. Here's another one that I'm going to get published. I think that's going to be the cover of the book, Resurrection. And you really, I mean, if you want to request any of this information, I will make a copy of this information if you wanted it. Um, I mean, I can only do so many. Uh, well, I'm not going to. I don't know what I'll do about giving out information. That's something I better think about before I offer that. The bottom line is here is the one of the books that I'm going to get published that I've not done yet, and you can see here if you can see it really well, you can see where people are being caught up into the heavens, and people riding along in their cars. And this really probably this picture would be better with some of the people that teach about um, the rapture, which I don't. There's no such thing as the rapture. People were really bad or evil for teaching things like the rapture and once saved always saved. Those doctrines are from the devil. Um, there is a rapture. We are going to be called out of this earth at the coming of Christ at the resurrection. But there's not going to be catching away in secret as far as Christ coming, because the Bible says that when Christ comes, every eye shall see him when he comes. And so we need to realize that, get a hold of that fact. And he says, "As the lightning shines from one part of the heavens from the east to the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be." Boom! It shall come quickly. And it'll be amazing how things change all at once when that happens. But anyway, we're going to get on into our teaching here today about the heart, and there's just a little bit more I wanted to talk about. Um, some things that I've already covered. Number one, we talked about several different things. I don't think I can cover back over all of them, but one of the main points I want to bring out is that the heart is the essence of who we are. That's really what I want to say about the heart. It's not just and also our soul is what we are. We need to realize that. And in my book, Human Nature and Destiny of Man, that book really brings that out clear. Is that man is he? That's what he is. Is he is a soul? He is a soul, and he that and the bottom line is that the fact of him being a soul means his whole being. He is a living soul. God spoke life into or breathed life into Adam through his nostrils, and he became a living soul. We are souls. That's amazing, but really, that's the truth. And when you're born again, you become something totally different. I don't know. I could get into that and talk about that a little bit, and I may before this series is over. I think it might be important that I do, so I probably will. When you're born again, what happens to you? What changes? I mean, I've not changed as far as of course my age I've changed since I got saved. I mean, I look different than I did when I was 19 years old. A few more wrinkles up here and a few more gray hairs here and there. I mean, when I was 19 years old, I had muscles everywhere. Now they sort of a little bit fluffy and sagging. So not as firm as they used to be. Boom boom. But I mean, you change like that. But what I mean is, what happens to you when you're born again? What kind of differences take place inside you? What becomes different about you, and how does that work? We need to see this. We need to understand it. We need to get a hold of it. and we need to know what changes take place. So we'll probably cover that. I'm not sure where we're going to cover it in this series, but we'll get to it. Anyway, what we've been talking about is the heart. Getting tired, I guess. Here's the bottom line. We've been talking about the heart, and the heart is who we are, like in the essence of what we believe. That's what I should say. How I should say that. Our heart is where what we believe, what we're going to respond from, how we're going to receive, how we're going to think, how we're going to walk this life out, how we're going to be in this life. Okay, that's really what the heart really represents. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And it says to guard your heart with above all else, because out of it flows the issues of life. And that is what comes out of us literally. We can hide what we really are for a while with people, and we can pretend something in front of people for a long time, but sooner or later, goodness, excuse me, sooner or later the real you is going to come out. I took a little nap. I thought that would fix that problem. Um, but talking about the essence of what we believe, when talking about the issues of life, you can hide what you are for a long time, but really in all reality, the real you is going to come out. And usually when you're under pressure, and people say, "Well, that's not who I really am." Yeah, whoever you really are is going to come out when you get under pressure. If you're made angry, then and you respond to that anger, and you're not controlled, then there's no self control there. And really, we need to understand that. We do need to understand that. We need to get a hold of that, and we need to hold on to it. That is really important that we understand that about the heart. And the heart, I mean, just to say that the heart is just in the mind would be, hmm, I don't know. We might can say that, I really think we need to consider how the heart affects the emotions, how it affects who we are and what we are, and how that if we're a soul, and we're a soul, we're a living soul right now. We're a living soul in this, and we're a walking animated soul because of the breath of life, the spirit of life, and we have we're able to process thoughts in this mind, and we're able to put thoughts into this mind, how all that works and everything. Whoops. uh, I really stumped here for a minute, but I believe what we need to do is just go ahead and realize that the heart affects the whole being. It's who we really are. It's when we stand before God. Whatever's in our heart, we can't deny it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Well, I know that if he thinketh in his heart, if he thinks in his heart, then your heart is where the essence of who you are. If it's in your mind, then well, it's who you really are in your mind. It's what you really believe. It's nothing that's really going to contradict what you believe. You won't allow it, and that's what the heart is. That's where the heart is, and the reason why I'm saying this like this because somebody stated to me on one of my videos about the heart, and that's what caused me to teach this series on the heart was the fact that we need to understand some things. Now, I made a previous video. It was not published because it had too much time on it. I mean, I'm not going to get into a lot of costly things buying video time, so I'm sort of keeping to the minimum on when I publish these videos. I'm trying to stay to the minimum. But I didn't think this video was over. It was just for 13 minutes, and so I don't know what happened. Maybe I looked at it wrong. Maybe it was over that. But the bottom line is that I don't want to get into a lot of cost here. I want to be cost effective, and I don't want to unless well, we're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to get into all that. But what I really want us to really focus on here is what the heart is today, and that's what I want to stay talking about. And but I made a previous video. I lost it. It was all about the soul. It talked about how the soul dies when a man dies, and I really talked a lot about it. I may make that again, but I don't feel like I will because I don't believe I was over my time limit. So I'm just going to let that go. for the time being. And the book is really a good book. I read several pages, probably 20 pages from the book. I probably did run over my time, so or more. And so I'm going to keep talking about the heart. Now, remember what I said. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if something's in your heart, it's going to be what you respond from. It's going to be what you do every day. It's going to be how you live your life every single day of your life. It's going to be how you respond to people. Like I said, you can hide from people and with your actions and pretend to be something that you're not. And you know who you really are won't come out in the open and different things. You can be an adulterer in the heart. You can be a fornicator in the heart. You can be a murderer in the heart. You know, Jesus explained those things. He said, if you look up on a woman to lust, and you've committed adultery in your heart already. And so that the heart is very important that we understand it. And there's a difference between messing up, making mistakes, and being a sinner and committing sin or being committing sin from the heart. There's a lot different there. There's something that's a lot different, and we need to realize that and get a hold of it and see the heart, how important it is to us. And God says He looks on the heart. He doesn't look on the outward appearance of man, but He looks on the heart. You know, if you had big old muscles and strong man, 7 foot tall, and you might be a very powerful man. You know, people might say, "Wow, look at that dude. He's amazing." No, what God sees in the heart is more amazing. Just like when Saul was a big statured man, and now Saul in the Old Testament, King Saul, he was a big statured man, had big muscles, big old guy. You know, really good-looking guy. He was outstanding, and that's what Samuel picked as the king of Israel. But God had a better pick, which was David, and He was looking on the heart of David. And so we need to realize that. We need to see that God doesn't look at how we act in public. You know, people say, "Well, I done my good deed today. I opened the door for that old lady." That's not what God's looking for. He's looking for what's in your heart, what comes natural. And there you go. Anyway, I don't know that we're going to talk any more about this right now. I don't feel led to. I think we covered some things there that need to be clarified about the heart. I mean, I could teach on the heart and really get down in the scriptures and dig around and get some really good information to you. I just don't think it's important right now. I think what we need to understand is, what is the heart? It is the essence of who we are. In other words, the essence of what we believe in our heart. It's something. It's who we are. That's unmovable. I'll put it like that. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching today. I'll talk to you on the next video. And God bless.